very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. My name is Adesuwa Osa Owage. Today on the program Healthy Living, we're going to be joined by Dr. Bright Azeta. He's an ophthalmologist, and we're going to be looking at eye problems, combating eye problems, exactly what we're going to be looking at today. The eye's got its own challenges, and most people take it for granted. The fact that you can see clearly does not mean that something may not happen tomorrow. How often do you go check your eyes? When was the last time you saw a doctor regarding the use of your eyes? You need to stay tuned so that you can hear everything that Dr. Azeta is going to be talking to us today. We'll look at problems, fatigue in the eyes, cataracts, glaucoma, especially glaucoma, which almost everybody is scared of. But how many people really want to go to the hospital to go check their eyes? What are the causes of glaucoma? What can you do to, avert it or reduce it or manage it if you have it? These and many more you would be watching today on the program. Now, before we join Dr. Azeta, let's look at eye fatigue. Some persons will say, do the eyes have problems like fatigue too, just as the body? Yes, it does. And there are causes for eye fatigue, and these include reading, driving, and of course writing. There are so many people who enjoy reading with dim light. It is not good for your eyes because it will cause you serious damage. If you read in dim light, if you read where the lights are very poor, it will cause you a lot of serious damage. So your best bet is to have good light. When you want to read, we're not saying you should go and read under the sun, no. Read in a room that is well lit or somewhere that is well lit but cool. All right, if you do this, you will not have problems with your eyes, so says the ophthalmologist. And then when you are writing too, same rules goes for writing. Some people write under duress. When I say duress, they use dim light, candle light, lantern and stuff. That's not too good for you. It will kill your eyes. And you may not know, but it will definitely kill your eyes. So you have to be very, very careful what you do. I say most often the time we see our children watching television, and what do? They watch television, then they like to use the light from the TV set to read comic magazines or other stuff. No, that's not what we should encourage our children to do, all right? So what you do is this: let the room be well lit. When the room is well lit, then you get good results. Some persons drive, especially in the night, and you find out that when you're driving in opposite direction and the vehicle coming opposite, you have this very bright full light. You seem to go a little bit blind, or you just lose concentration somehow. Those are things that causes, some of the things that causes eye fatigue, okay? So if you can avoid all of these, you will be very, very happy. All right, so take care of your eyes. Your eyes are very important, very, very important, okay? They are the windows with which you see the world, the windows with which you see everything. And once you lose the use of your eyes, it becomes very pathetic, and a lot of things just go wrong. If you can avoid it, please do. Do everything humanly possible to protect your eyes. And above all, visit the hospital to take care of your eyes, and I'm sure you'll be very happy. So let's join our doctor now. He's with us in the house, and he's going to be telling us everything, almost everything we need to know about the eyes, because sometimes this 1 hour may just not be enough. Dr. Bright Azeta, it's nice to have you join us today. Okay, you're welcome. So we want to look at problems of the eyes, problems facing the eyes. Let's start with this one. What are the problems that may occur in the eyes? What are the problems that may happen to the eyes?
The problems of the eyes, there are a lot of problems. Some that can lead to blindness, some that can will not lead to blindness. For the blindness, some are irreversible and some are reversible.
Okay.
So first of all, I want to talk about the different causes of blindness. Number one cause of blindness, the cause majority of the blindness is cataract.
Okay.
From studies, it's shown that cataract causes about 50% of blindness. In the Nigerian blindness survey, which was done in
50%?
yes,
That's huge.
yes, in Nigerian blindness survey, which was done about 2005, 2007 in Nigeria, it showed that cataract caused about 43% of blindness. That means if 100 people are blind, 43 will be from cataract. Cataract can easily be reversed. It can cause blindness, it can be reversed. So it causes reversible cause of blindness.
Okay, it doesn't get to a point where it cannot be reversed.
No. Except
it can be reversed at any point.
At any point, as long as it is just cataract, except there are other comorbidities. The major cause of blindness, number 2 is glaucoma. Again, from the Nigerian blindness survey, it accounts for about 16% of blindness. Yes, and glaucoma causes an irreversible cause of blindness. When glaucoma is taking away your vision, you cannot gain it back. So the way forward is prevention.
Let's start with the causes. What are the causes of glaucoma?
We will not say causes per se, we will say predisposing factors. Okay, that means if you have this and have this, you're more likely to have glaucoma.
So what are the predisposing factors?
Glaucoma can affect anybody. The predisposing factors for glaucoma, we talk about the pressure in the eyes, intraocular pressure, if it is high. Those with high pressures are more likely to have glaucoma.
How do we determine the pressure in the eyes? Is it something you can just see by yourself and say, okay, I think I have pressures in these eyes, or I have pressure in my eyes? Is it something you can ordinarily
I think
determine?
That is when you come to the hospital. That is when we will know if there is high pressure or not. But we will not start from there when we're talking about glaucoma. Let's start from first how we detect glaucoma. Of course, pressure is one, but the main thing is to examine the eyes and examine properly, and not just the pressure, because pressure is the main factor when it comes to glaucoma, but it's not the only factor that we look at. And we make the diagnosis of glaucoma irrespective of the pressure. So that's why I said we should not put pressure in the forefront, because whether you have normal pressure or high pressure, you can still have glaucoma even with normal pressure.
Really?
Yes, about 40-something% of persons will have glaucoma and they will not have high pressures. So high pressure does not define glaucoma. And there are some people that will have high pressure and they don't have glaucoma, but they are more likely to have glaucoma. Like I said, predisposing factors. So we'll talk about elevated intraocular pressure in the eyes. We'll talk about family history. Those with family history of glaucoma, maybe the dad or the mom was blind from glaucoma, that person is likely to have glaucoma. I'm not saying that the person must have glaucoma. It's more likely to have glaucoma.
But you can prevent it.
Yes, it can be prevented. Then we talk about black race. Being a black man is a predisposing factor. Then glaucoma is more in the blacks than the Caucasians, and the glaucoma that black people tend to have tend to be more aggressive. That means it's likely to lead to blindness more than the one that the Caucasians will have. Then we'll talk about age, very important factor. At any age, one can have glaucoma, even when the person is born. Somebody can be born with glaucoma, that's congenital glaucoma. But we tend to say that those 40 and above are more likely to have glaucoma. But there are different types of glaucomas. We have the open angle glaucoma and the closed angles. Generally, we say above 40, we tend to be more focused in detecting or screening for glaucoma, especially the open angle glaucoma. For the closed angle glaucoma, usually from 60 years old, but again, it can happen before 60. So those are some of the, then we talk about refractive errors, those with myopia, those with hypermetropia. Those with myopia are more likely to have the open angle, while those with hypermetropia, the one they call long-sighted, are more likely to have the closed angle when they are 60. Again, you don't need to say, okay, because I'm a myope or I'm an hyperop, I will have glaucoma, because I have said predisposing factors.
Okay, so that people don't begin to get scared at home.
Yes, so that they don't begin to get scared.
All right, the program is Healthy Living on independent television, and we're talking with Dr. Bright Azeta. He is a consultant ophthalmologist with St. Teresa Specialist Eye Center here in Benin City. And they've been doing quite a lot, especially for the indigent, as regards this issue of glaucoma. It's quite expensive. It is some tests you have to undergo are quite expensive, and they're helping people pro bono, no fee at all, and I think that's a good thing. All right, Dr. Bright, let's look at this issue of glaucoma, because it has been called a thief of sight, and it comes silently. No symptoms, no pains, you don't feel a thing, but you just find out that somebody will just suddenly go blind, and you just keep wondering, what's the mystery behind this?
We call it a complex disease, a complex group of diseases that causes, like you said, a silent thief of sight. But we can still say it causes needless blindness, because the way forward is detecting it early and treating it to prevent further damage. It's not something that you can reverse. Any damage that it has caused, you cannot reverse it, but you can prevent further damage, and that's the way out, early detection. Then you ask me, how do we detect this early enough? I mentioned some of the predisposing factors. I talk about age. That means at 40, you need to have your eyes checked by an ophthalmologist. It's very important. So you don't just, at that time, a majority of persons will need glasses. Don't just go to the roadside and get glasses. Go to see the ophthalmologist so your eyes will be examined, so that you use the opportunity to check your eyes generally. So because most times, this glaucoma does not cause any symptom. No pain, no redness, everything is fine. You can see everything. Because the way it takes vision is from the periphery. You'll be seeing straight. You can be seeing straight very well, but your periphery takes it gradually. We call it the silent thief. By the time you've noticed it visually, by the time you start noticing the visual symptoms, it's already advanced most times. Already advanced. So you take the opportunity when you are 40, make sure you get your eyes checked. Then if you have any problem with the eyes, it's not just to go to the roadside, see a professional, an ophthalmologist, so that apart from treating the minor things like maybe you have allergy, you have recurrent itching, you need glasses for far, for near. At least if at that time, if you are seen by an ophthalmologist, they will be able to say if there is glaucoma or not and place you on medication. Then for those that are born with glaucoma, the congenital glaucoma, mothers, if you see that your child, maybe you give birth to the child, the black part of the eye is white or is bigger than normal, or if there's anything that you feel is not normal, unusual, it's good for you to see the professional. Don't just ask the roadside person or your next door neighbor, what should I do? They'll tell you to put a lot of
we're used to self-help, we're used to home remedy. Let's do some home remedy. Can home remedy work on glaucoma, cataracts, or on eye problem?
Home remedy does not work for any disease. It is dangerous because some disease, for example, some condition can be self-limited. That means it can go on its own. So you try those home remedies and the condition goes on its own and you feel it's that. Then you start prescribing it for people as if you're a doctor. And again, there are some things that, for example, if I have redness in my eyes, there are a lot of things that can cause redness, more than 100 causes of redness. A lot of them. I cannot just start listening. So how will you know which of the eye drop to give? Okay, they gave you one eye drop and it worked for you, then another person is having redness in the eye, you will not prescribe and say that is what they gave me. We should try to discourage that. There was a patient I saw. I looked at the patient. I said, your wristwatch is 45,000 naira. Will you give me to repair? He said, no, doctor, I cannot give you now. You're a doctor, you should focus on your this. I will go and give a professional to repair my wristwatch. I said, because the patient just gave his eye to somebody else, put something, and the eye was damaged. And I asked the patient, but it is your eye, how did you now come to give somebody else that is not a doctor, that is not an ophthalmologist to repair?
That means we take chances with our lives.
Yes, but I will not say they don't care about their lives. I'll say it's ignorance, but we should try to discourage those practices. It doesn't help at all in any condition, including glaucoma.
You know, there was one day somewhere in Benin, I was just driving past and you see these people using small vehicles to sell medicines, and they were talking seriously about glaucoma, cataracts. If you use this particular concoction, you will throw away your glasses, you will not use them again. Surprisingly, a lot of people were I just parked somewhere. I was interested, so I parked somewhere. And you see people, before you know what was happening, it became a crowd, and there was so much. And I was like, is it real that concussion, like herbal medicine, can work for the eyes? As an ophthalmologist, give us your view.
Those people should not be allowed to do those kind of things.
But they are there.
So this is not 1954, where you can do anything and you go away with it. They should be held accountable for what they do. It should not be allowed. The government should discourage those kind of practice. Those kind of people should not be allowed.
So are you saying concussion cannot work?
It cannot work. It's not possible. You go somewhere and you get leaves and you don't know the consequence of the leaf or something. You mix things together and you put it in somebody's eyes. You don't know if it will work, if it will damage the eyes in the short term, if it will damage the eyes in the long term. Some of these medications, even if they don't damage your eyes immediately, or they don't damage your system, your body immediately. Sometimes after 15 years, 10 years, they come with irreversible damage to their body or to their eyes. At that time, they come to the hospitals and they are like, doctor, do something. And you ask them, what have you done? They tell you, I've done this. Why didn't you come since? It started 5 years ago. It started 3 years ago. Why didn't you come? They'll tell you, they did not know. They did not know. Sometimes it's not because of money.
Because medicine is quite expensive.
Yes, it's expensive. Sometimes it's not about the money. It's about the belief for the healthcare professionals. I think we should change our orientation, and also our healthcare system. We have to also improve on our healthcare so that those things that scare people away from the hospital will not be there, so they can come when they have problems.
Let us look at this silent thief of eye, glaucoma. You have just said that it is irreversible once it happens. Do we now leave sufferers in that condition, or is there any other thing that can be done for patients of glaucoma to ameliorate what they are passing through? Any further treatment, even though we know it cannot be reversible, not even surgery can do wonders for them. So how are they treated?
Okay, I'll talk about the treatment of glaucoma. The treatment of glaucoma is to prevent further damage. So when we see it at the early stage, there are different modalities for treatment. We have the medical in terms of eye drops and tablets that we can give to patients.
That's surgery, when the person already have it?
Yes.
Okay.
These drugs, we have eye drops, tablets, then surgery, and even laser treatment. But all this, the aim of this treatment is to reduce the pressure in the eyes. So if the drug is not working, we might use laser, or sometimes we might decide to start with laser treatment or start with medical medication, that's eye drops. Then sometimes we do surgery. We look at the eyes, examine the eyes, and we determine the type of glaucoma and the best modality of treatment. The aim of the treatment is to prevent further damage. So for those we detect early, as long as you use your eye drop properly, because it's not just to use it for 2 weeks. Some people will see it as a burden when you tell them you have to use the drug for life. And because of that, they might stop it, get discouraged.
Because it will be like, okay, one is already blind. What's the use of the eye drop and the medication and stuff?
I'm talking about the early stage now.
Okay.
Because you have to use it for life, but people see it as a burden. But I tell people, it's just the time you take to put eye drop inside the eye is no more than 30 seconds, and that's it. Maybe you might put it twice in a day. I'll tell the person you eat every day. Do you see it as stress? You brush your teeth every day. Those things are stressful. To brush your teeth every day, to bathe every day is stressful. So why
more stressful than using the drops?
Than using the drops. So see it like that. Don't see it as a burden. By the time you see it like that, that is not a burden. You use it. Then again, some of the eye drops are expensive, and some people might not be able to afford it. There are the cheap ones and the expensive ones. Sometimes you have to use the expensive ones depends on the stage and the pressure. We talk about the health scheme that will reduce, national health scheme that reduces the money you pay. You don't have to pay everything out of your pocket. But those that really need this service, those in the rural community that don't really, they cannot access the insurance scheme. So that is a problem. That is a problem. But the way forward is you use your drug every day. Then for those with advanced disease, and the vision is already affected, it affects their visual function. They cannot function properly because of their vision, and it's because of glaucoma. there's nothing we can really do to reverse that, but we can restore or keep what they already have. Try to not restore, we can preserve,
at least manage
so that it doesn't get worse more than the way it is. So that is what we usually tell them. We encourage them to use their eye drops and not see, because sometimes some of them still stop their eye drop because they will tell you, I've been using this eye drop for 5 years, no improvement. So they stop it, then after 1 year they go blind completely. So we tell them that the eye drop is not to improve your vision. It is very important that they understand this part, so that they don't stop their eye drop. The vision you have now is what we are trying to preserve. So try as much as possible to use it. Don't see it as a burden. I know money is hard these days, hard to get money, especially when you have to pay, like maybe spend like 4,000 or 5,000 in a month for just your eye drop. It's quite discouraging, so people cannot really meet up.
All right, there are some persons who, let me say, who have been, you know, they've gone through some medical checks, and it's been discovered that they might, or they are predisposed to having glaucoma. And then let's look at the treatment involved. Is it something painful? Is it what the patient can go through? Because some persons don't want to go through any form of medical treatment or the other, no matter how small that medical treatment is. How do we get these people to hospital? How do we push them to get this treatment so that they don't go blind?
Are you talking about those that already have glaucoma, those that want to just check their eyes?
Those that want to check, but because they are afraid. Then those that maybe they've gone through one test or the other. You know, some of them is when they will go for glasses that the doctors discover all of this. You know, when you tell somebody, oh, I think you have signs of glaucoma, it becomes a problem. The person runs away completely.
Yes.
You know, how do you push that person to the hospital to say, okay, you go get this test done?
When we see those people and we say you are a glaucoma suspect, that means we have not said that you have glaucoma.
Okay.
You are a glaucoma suspect. We need to investigate you to be sure if you have glaucoma or not.
What does the investigation take? What does it entail?
There's a visual field analysis that you have to do. That's about maybe 5,000. Depends on the facility, or maybe 6, 7, depending on the facility. Visual field analysis can be done to see, because it's not just to examine the eyes. There are different examinations that we do. Examine the back of the eyes. We examine the angles of the eyes, the part of the eye that drains the fluid out of the eye. We examine that part so we can determine whether it's open or closed. Then also, for those with early, maybe the visual field does not really show something, we examine the eyes, is neither here nor there. There's something we call OCT, optical coherence tomography. It's quite expensive. It's quite expensive, but we will not talk about that one, because that is the simple test is relatively cheap and not expensive. And the simple test is this: we just look inside your eyes. So don't look at the money aspect. You're not going to spend, most times maybe you're just going to visit the facility, maybe pay for the cards and everything. But it is you don't have to spend money for us to look, it's just to look inside the eyes and say, okay, there is glaucoma, there is no glaucoma. It's when we now say, okay, it's a suspect, they will now go further to do further tests. So don't run away from the hospital because of the cost. It's good to come to the hospital and they will check it. If you are a glaucoma suspect, then further investigations are done.
Okay, let's look at cataracts. What are the signs?
Cataract causes a painless progressive deterioration.
It's also painless.
It's painless. Glaucoma is painless. Cataract is painless. Cataracts, the vision is poor, it's cloudy or hazy, or some people say smoky. Okay. See, there's smoke in front of you, so it starts like that. It doesn't. Does it
start in both eyes or one?
It can start in one. It can affect both eyes at the same time. It can start in both eyes, but one more severe than the other. Sometimes it can affect just only one eye, and like that. So apart from the cloudy vision, smoky vision that it can cause, some people are not comfortable when they look at bright light, because the opacities in the eye will scatter the light inside the eyes and to give them this glare, discomfort, especially when they drive at night. So those are the two major. Then as it gets worse progressively, at a stage it covers the eye completely and you will not be able to see. But glaucoma, cataract is not a problem. It causes blindness. Even if it's complete blindness, it can be completely reversed.
At any stage.
At any stage. The only time you might have problem after cataract surgery, maybe there is other comorbidities, like there is glaucoma with the cataract, because you're not operating.
Both can happen to a person.
Both can happen at the same time. So in a person that has glaucoma at the back of the eye, cataract at the front of the eye, you take off the cataract and there is glaucoma at the back of the eye, the vision will not improve. There are other conditions that can affect the back of the eyes, like age-related degeneration, macular degeneration can affect the eyes. Of course, there are other conditions, but those are the two major comorbidities that include trauma. Sometimes, because of cataract, it's not just age. That's the major cause, age. As you grow old, just when you have gray hair, wrinkled skin, you can have cataract. It's normal. It's normal. So it's not like, okay, I have a problem. No. So
and you don't have to have that in your family too for one to be
yes,
scared.
you don't have to have that for you to have it. But again, sometimes they tend to, okay, some families might have more cataract than others. Yes.
All right, we are expecting you to give us a call on 052-290-573. Call the doctor. Ask him any question you want to ask him, okay? And don't ask questions outside problems relating to the eyes. We want to talk about the eyes and talk about the eyes alone. So 052-290-573 is the number to call. So call the doctor, let us know how to help you. Now, doctor, while we're waiting for calls, let's look at how to improve clarity of vision, because you talked about cataract that could blur your vision. How do people, improve their vision? Because some may be looking at the television screen and they tell you it's kind of blurry. Even the computer. I had this friend who says, oh, I need a screen over my computer. Every time I look at the computer lights, he has this problem with the eyes. I don't know. Does he have to? Is this something he has to run to the hospital for?
Yes, you have to also see an eye professional. Like I said, it might not just be, it might be something very minor. And majority of times, what you just said, poor vision, I cannot see my computer, I cannot read my Bible, I cannot see distance properly, might just be from refractive error, which people popularly know as short-sighted, long-sighted. There's another one, astigmatism. Therefore, reading, presbyopia, which is normal, comes with age. Presbyopia comes with age.
Comes with age. Majority
of persons at 40, they will need glasses to read. Some persons will never need glasses to read. The myopes, high myopes will never need glasses.
Okay.
Some people before 40, a little before 40, they will need glasses to read. So those are normal conditions that can come with age. Then the hypermetropia and the myopia, which is the long and the short sighted, they can easily be corrected with spectacles. So when you come to the hospital, your eyes are tested and we'll check for the appropriate glasses, lenses to give you, and you get it.
But the funny thing is this, there are some persons that will tell you that they will never use glasses. Oh, my parents didn't use glasses. We don't use glasses in our family. Why should I use glasses? And then you see them squinting when they want to read, squinting when they want to write, just because of this, I don't know what is this stigma associated with wearing glasses.
What I used to ask them is that, are you as tall as your dad? Are you as short as your dad? Two people cannot be the same. Yes, your dad lived for 90 years and he don't use glasses. Does not mean you will not need glasses. If the way people see refractive error, that is the way I see somebody that is tall and somebody that is short. Somebody that is short, for example, is that a problem? It's not a problem. Okay. So I'm short. I decide to use high heel shoes so that I grow a little taller. That high heel shoes will not make me taller. And that high heel shoes will not make me shorter. It will just make me look tall. The same thing, those with refractive error, short-sighted, long-sighted, the ocular, the eyes is maybe is not the normal size, maybe it's longer than normal or shorter than normal, or the curvature is a little outside the normal. Then you now have hypermetropia or myopia. The glasses, what you have is not a disease. It's just that maybe your eyes is smaller than normal or bigger than normal. Just the way you are taller than normal or shorter than normal. Okay. So all you just need to do is to wear glasses, because the focus, when the eye is not on the same size or the curvature is not the way it's supposed to be, the focus, the light focus, for you to see clearly will not be on the retina. That means there's a part of the eye that can make you see the macula. If the focus is not at the right part, it's somewhere else, you will not see clearly. So what does the spectacle do? It just focuses the light for you at the right place. So it doesn't, the spectacles in itself is not to treat anything, because you don't have a disease. So first of all, you cannot see far or you cannot see near. Might not necessarily mean that you have a disease. When I see a patient with hypermetropia and hypermetropia, I tell you your eyes are fine.
Okay.
You don't have a problem. All you just need to do is to use glasses to see clearly. This glasses is not going to treat your eyes. It's not going to make it worse. The refractive state can change. That means sometimes you might need to change the glasses.
Okay.
Some people will say, since I started using glasses, I've changed it 3 times. That means it is the glasses that is making it worse. So I tell them, no. The glasses does not treat. All it does is to make you see clearly.
Okay.
It's just like, okay, you are growing old. The refractive state of your eyes might change, especially for reading.
Okay, we have a caller now. Hello, caller. Good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Kindly tell us your name and ask your question.
I'm Godwin, calling from Oliairi.
All right, Godwin. Thank you for joining us.
I was operated on sometime 2 years ago on cataract.
You were operated on 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yes.
What operation did you have? Cataract?
Cataract, yes, please.
Okay.
Is it possible to have a recurrence of that?
Is it possible to what?
To have a recurrence of cataract.
Okay, if it's possible to have a recurrence. So you had a surgery.
And secondly, my right eye, at times it behaves funny. You know, like the doctor rightly said, when there is so much light, you know, it's scattered as if I don't see it as one. It gets scattered. So I don't know why.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Godwin asked the question. The first one, he had cataract surgery 2 years ago. He want to know if it can reoccur again. That's one. And then the second one, his right eye behaves funny. When he looks at light, it scatters. So what can he do?
First of all, let's talk about the part I said if cataract can reoccur.
Yeah.
Cataracts cannot reoccur.
Okay.
I don't know.
So once the operation is done, it's done.
It's done. But there's something we call after cataract. It's not the cataract that has reoccurred, because where the lens stays is like a cellophane. It's transparent.
Okay.
That transparent cellophane can, the structure can be altered a little bit and it becomes white. Where the lens is sitting, because you remove the lens that is cataractous with the that is white. You remove the lens that is white and put in a transparent lens. Okay. That place where the lens is sitting can be affected maybe later in life, and it doesn't happen all the time.
Okay.
And sometimes it doesn't reduce vision significantly.
Okay.
So when it is there, it is still not a problem. You should go to the hospital, and there is something that we do called the yard laser. We can open it up if that is what he has. Okay. I don't know what, but the best thing for him to do is to go back to the place where he operated his eyes. Let them examine the eyes and properly tell him why the vision has gone worse. So if
it's not as if cataract can come back.
No,
again.
it cannot come back. So if it is after cataract, which we call the after cataract, there's something it can be done just to use a little procedure. Yeah, means I just open that place up.
Okay, and so what is he going to do about the second question, that his right eyes behave funny, looking at light, it scatters, it doesn't see the light as one? Again,
it's better for him to visit, but it's likely that it may be cataract again coming. Maybe it's not as severe as that the other one before you operated. So when cataract is coming, usually it can give that symptom. Scatters light and vision becomes a little hazy. But again, it's not just one or two. When you go to the hospital, we ask you a lot of questions, and we examine the eyes before we can reach a conclusion and determine what is wrong with your eye.
So his best bet is to go to the hospital where he did the operation. All right, hello caller, good afternoon. Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Hello, I can barely hear you, please. Oh. Okay, do me a favor. If you reduce the audio level on your television set, then we'll have a good conversation. Or you move away from where your TV is.
Are you hearing me now?
Okay, let's see if we can manage to hear you. Go ahead. What's your name, please?
Hello?
Hello, what is your name?
Concerning the doctor is talking about the glaucoma or the cataract. Like to afford the eye drop.
The unfortunate thing is I honestly cannot hear you. I'm trying to strain my ears. Maybe if you call back again. All right, please, when you're calling, try to reduce the audio level on your television set, or you move away completely from where your TV set is. With that, we'll be able to hear each other. Hello, good afternoon. Hello? Hello, good afternoon.
Hello?
Hello, lady, good afternoon. What's your name?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Tell us your name, please.
Okay, my name is Well, and I'm calling from Minikawa Road.
Okay.
Now, my question is, yes, my question is, cataract, is it, can it be inherited as in from generation or parents and passing it on to their children?
Okay.
That's just what I want to know. And again, my other question is, although my vision is clear, I don't have issues with sight. My question is, how often is it advisable to see the hospital?
Okay.
Just to know how healthy your eyes are.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Our first question is, cataract, is this hereditary? Can it be passed on from generation to generation? And the second one is, how often should one see an ophthalmologist, you know, to check the eyes?
Cataract, yes, cataract can be passed from generation to, as in, can be inherited.
Okay.
So we have that's why I said congenital causes of cataract.
It can be inherited, but it does not mean one will have it, even if you have it in your family.
Yeah, even if you have it in your family. So there are some conditions where we say, okay, it is inherited, especially when a child is born with it. But majority of the cause of cataract is because of age, not from inheritance. Then from those, when the child is born with cataract, there are different causes. Number one is hereditary. That means it's inherited from the mother.
From the mother.
During pregnancy, if the mother has infections, there are some infections that can pass on to the baby and predispose the baby or cause the baby to have cataracts.
Okay.
Then there are other conditions. Maybe the mother is exposed to radiation during pregnancy. Sometimes assisted delivery, when there is injury to the child's eye during delivery. And those are some of the causes that can cause congenital cataract. Then for the other question, you said,
how often should one visit the hospital to check the eyes? To check the well-being of the eyes?
I'll say one. My advice is this. First, if you have any eye condition, maybe itching, redness.
She doesn't have any eye condition.
Then at 40, she should get her eyes checked at least. First, that's one. I'm talking about the general public now without any problem. At 40, at least get your eyes checked. Then if you have family history of blindness, you don't have to wait until 40. You go to the hospital and check your eyes. Just normal screening. Let them see if there is any condition that will lead to blindness later in life. And they will know what to do.
Okay. Hello, caller. Good afternoon. Hello. All right. The number is there on your screen is 052-290573. Give the doctor a call. Hello, caller. Good afternoon. Hello. Hello. Good afternoon. Please tell us your name and ask your question. Hello. Good afternoon. Thank you. What's your name? What is your name, please?
My name is Victor.
All right, Victor. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Benin City.
Okay, please ask your question. Reduce the audio level of your TV set, Victor, please.
Okay.
All right. If you reduce the audio level of your television set, we'll be able to have this conversation smoothly. Okay, I can hear you.
Is it possible to have cataract and your children too?
Can you repeat that question again?
I said, is cataract hereditary?
If it's hereditary,
Yes.
Okay, that means you weren't listening when Dr. Zeta was trying to explain to the other caller. All right, doctor, is it hereditary?
Yes, it can be.
Okay, it can be hereditary. But that does not mean you're going to have it. So if you're 40, please go to the hospital. And if you have a history of glaucoma, history of cataract in your family, please rush down to the hospital fast. Don't wait until you're 40, all right? Okay, 0522905573 is the number. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name, please? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
My son is having inches.
Okay, do me a favor. If you do not reduce the audio level, that is, come out the audio with your television so that we can talk. Okay, I can hear you. What's your name?
My name is Sasu.
Okay, Sasu. Ask your question, please.
I swear, my son is having inches in his left eyes.
Okay.
And each time he scratches it, it will look reddish. So I don't know the cause.
How old is your son?
And what medication can I use? My child is 10 years old.
He's 10.
10 years.
Okay. Both eyes or one eye?
One eye.
I had a question, recurrent itching and redness in both eyes. And she asked, what drug can I use?
We don't talk drugs on this program, unfortunately.
Yes. What drug? Those are some things that we need to discourage.
Okay.
Because you cannot call me on the phone and say, I have redness.
What drugs can I use?
Because what you might have might just be something innocuous that will not cause any problem. And you might also have something that will lead to blindness, maybe in the next 1 hour, or blindness after many years. So I will not do, it's better for you to go to hospital, but usually when you have redness, recurrent itching, most times it's caused by allergy. Some people, they have allergy, especially the young, and maybe at about 3, 4, 5 years old. With time, sometimes they outgrow it and it might come later in life. There are medications to treat allergy if it is allergy, and all you need to do is to get those medications and suppress the allergy. And again, those drugs will not cure the allergy per se, because the allergy, what causes the allergy might just be dust, can be anything in the environment causing the allergy. As long as you expose yourself to those things, the allergy might reoccur. So the treatment for allergy is to suppress the allergy. And with time, sometimes you get used to the stimulus, or you outgrow it. So for that patient, I would say the patient should see an ophthalmologist, see a professional, so that they will look at the eyes, examine the eyes, if there are other conditions, even apart from, if, for example, if it is allergy, and you now examine the eyes, there's now glaucoma. So that is how we sometimes detect glaucoma. You come with something innocuous like maybe allergy, we examine the eyes properly and we see something else. We now say, oh, this is not what you came for,
but this is what this
is what we are saying. So this is what you do to prevent blindness. So it is good for her to see a professional, an ophthalmologist, for proper examination.
All right, Osaso, please see a doctor as fast as you can. Hello, caller. Good afternoon.
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, this is Mane.
Please tell us your name and ask your question. Okay.
Hello?
Hello, I can hear you.
Please, I want to know, there's a question. Can a child, maybe like 7 months or 6 months, 6 months or 7 months, maybe when each time she scratches her eyes, all the time she just put it and begin to scratch, is it a sign that the eyes has problems?
Please, can you come again? Each time a child of 6 months scratches her eyes.
It's like 6 months or 7 months. Maybe sometimes I begin to observe that she just put her hand on in her eyes and begin to scratch and scratch. Even to the extent you will not be the one to remove the hand. Like she will not be struggling like to scratch that eyes very well.
Okay, you want to know if there's a problem?
Yeah. Does that mean that the child has problem with the eyes?
Okay.
One.
Okay. Yes. What's the second one?
Hello. The second one is if again maybe the eyes, like the eyes are sometimes I try to look at the light and it's like there'll be a shock. I have to quickly remove it. pinches me, and that is what I normally see sometimes. So that's why I said, let me just also find out the true light.
Okay, ask your second question again.
Huh?
The second question, please tell us again.
The second question is the eyes. Sometimes when I try to look at the light, it's a kind of a shock that comes. So I will have to now remove my eyes immediately.
Okay.
And secondly, there are kind of ache that I see in the eyes. So I want to really know. And I also mention that if you are already at 40, it's good to go to check the eyes.
Okay.
And I have never gone for any eye checkup.
Okay.
And I do not know where to actually go. That's I'm not thinking.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying, let me just call so that I can throw light on it.
All right, good. You heard the questions?
Yes.
The first one, baby,
First
7
question,
months.
7 months, constantly rubbing the eyes, and whether there's a problem with the eyes.
Okay.
Like I said before, it's not just the 1 or 2 symptoms that you present that will make us know what the condition of the eyes. You have to go to the hospital. Like I said, it might be something that is not, it might be something innocuous that we can easily treat. It might just be allergy, and you can easily treat allergy, as in suppress the allergy. Then if it's something that can lead to blindness, because some babies, if they are not seeing, they may tend to rub the eyes.
Okay.
They may tend to rub the eyes. So it's not just enough to say, okay, what is he going to do? It's for him to visit an eye center so that the eyes are properly checked and they know the condition and they know how best to treat.
And for him, he sees light and he feels the shock each time he looks at the light.
I don't understand what he means by shock. That's again, when the patient says something, you have to further ask questions.
Yes.
What do you mean by this shock?
Okay.
Is it that some people they are more sensitive to light than the other, and it's not really a problem? They are just more sensitive to light. For those who can give them tinted spectacles.
Okay.
And he mentioned something about ocular aches. And when somebody is not seeing well, sometimes the muscles in the eyes try to compensate for that. They help you to see. So they are working excessively, and sometimes they become tired, and you start having pains, ocular aches, headaches. So for that condition, again, I will also say I will always say visit. I cannot come to a conclusion
on air.
Yes.
So your best bet is to visit a doctor. So time is not our friend anymore, and for follow-up you can always reach us. You know, you can call this our number 052-2905-73 if you want to know more about this topic. And for those of you who may want to do follow-up, you can easily call us on this number for follow-up, 080-3699-6388. That's for follow-up. You do this number, 080-3699-6388. Okay, so use that number to do a follow-up. Learn to go to the hospital as fast as you can. More so if you're 40 and above, or you feel any discomfort in your eyes. Don't do self-medication, and don't think that home remedy will work. See a professional and you'll be happy. We'll see you again on Monday. Bye for now.